Yo, yo. All right. Uh, this should be an interesting stream tonight. Yeah, can't be seen over there. I love these virtual backgrounds. Elgato stepped their game up. They definitely stepped it up a notch. All right, let's give people a minute to kick in here. What time was that? I think that was like 5:30. 6. So yeah, that's definitely one thing I got to do. I need to send these invites out like at the end of the day so that it's top of mind for people. Like literally send it out at 5 or maybe like 4. Yeah, so on Wednesdays and Thursdays send it out at 4. Come on, really? All right. Well, I guess this is just gonna be VOD content because we have literally 0 people on the stream. All right, we got to remember if we do get some folks on the stream, so we got to be like, man, getting these streams hype is like the hardest thing ever, bro. I gotta figure this out at some point. All right, all right, I'm gonna dive in. It's time to get started. Welcome to the Junkyard. We got a crazy night in front of us. It might be a really quick one if we ain't got viewers, but we'll see. We'll see. So last night we did a really dope challenge trying to, ease our way into this modern JavaScript landscape. And we're gonna be doing that for a couple more sessions here. We got a couple more weeks of this before we move into some real stuff, real tricky, hard stuff. But let's just cover the rules real quick, because it's a lot of people from both sides of the world here, people from corporate, people from non-corporate. So rule number 1, absolutely no doxing. Doxing, for those who don't know, is when you reveal public information about someone on the stream. We do not dox on this stream, so no doxing. No swearing in the chat, please. Wait until 9:30 p.m. If we're still streaming by 9:30 p.m., go crazy. But if not, we do not swear on the chat. Rule number 3, be nice to everyone. All right, we are all about respect. Rule number 4, absolutely zero discussions about work. Okay, we leave work at work. When you come to the junkyard, we are all junkies here, so no work talk. And then rule number 5, the most important rule is to be ready to obey all of these class rules, everything we just covered. All right, with that out the way, let's just quickly head over to the browser and let's touch on what we did yesterday. So I'm going to head over to our GitHub repository. If you haven't already grabbed that, make sure you do. But yesterday we did this first challenge, and we really just wanted to get a feel for like, what's the environment we're going to be coding in? Like, what tools are we going to be using? How we're going to set everything up, what extensions we're going to use, and then eventually how we're going to actually start coding and testing things, right? So we got that figured out, and then we wrote a really cool Secret Santa app, right? So for those of you who don't know what Secret Santa is, you get a group of people, you put all their names in a hat, you mix those names up, and then you have everyone pull a name out of the hat, so that at the end of it, everyone is playing Santa Claus in secret for a gift receiver. So if there's like 3 of us, I may have to give a gift to someone else will have to give a gift to me, and then someone has to gift the other person, right? So everyone gets a present. You get a present, you get a present, everyone gets a present. So let me just fix one thing real quick. All right, there we go. Okay, so today we have some really cool challenges. However, we have a really weird kind of spin on today's challenges. Okay, we're gonna do these challenges in such a way where we have to still develop them like normally how we would. However, we're gonna be using the wheel of misfortune to make the challenges a little more difficult, or maybe easier. If we get lucky, the challenges could become easier, but otherwise, you know, we might make it a little more difficult for ourselves. So that should be a lot of fun. So let's start with this quiz game. First challenge on the list here is the quiz game. So the goal of the quiz game, right, is to create a little app that you can pass an array of questions to. So like an object of like questions and answers, multiple choice questions. So like a question, multiple choice answers, and then the answer, like whatever the number one answer is. So you should be able to feed that into our app and then get back like a game, right? So the system should ask a question to the end user. The user should be able to answer that question, and then the system should be able to decide whether the user was right or wrong. At the very end, so let's say there's 3 questions. After the user has answered all 3 questions, then our system should tell them how they did. Like, all right, you're done with the quiz and you got this many wrong out of this many. All right. So let's dive in. We have some new stuff on the stream here. We have a few new things. Going forward, whenever anyone chats, we're going to play this DJ horn like this. Okay, and then we're gonna, no, not that. And then we're gonna cheer, and we're gonna show a new chatter thing like this. I'm actually gonna fix this a little bit. I don't know if I love that. Let's fix this real quick. That color is really ugly to me. Let's just do like a blue, like a blue background. All right, cool. All right, so that's what we're gonna show now when a new chatters enter the ring. All right, and we're going to play our little jingle. All right, so let's get started with this first quiz question, right? But in order to start that, we first need to... Where's my mouse? Oh, there we go. Before we get started, we need to go over to the Wheel of Doom. I wonder if that's big enough for the stream. Where are we right now? 200? That should be big enough. All right, so let's head over to our Wheel of Destiny here, our Wheel of Misfortune. And I've already added the options here, right? So we're going to spin to see how we're going to make this a little more interesting. So the first option up there, hard-coded endpoint, that's making it easier for us. That means that instead of having to get user input, we can actually hard-code the input ourselves into the app. So for each question, I could just say the input is always 2. And then it'll tell us whether 2 was incorrect or correct based on each question's answer. And then the next one here, it'll make it a little more difficult, but it'll be like calculate the final grade. So right now it tells us what the score is, but we don't have any kind of system that says if there's 3 questions and you, I mean, if there's, let's say if there's 10 questions and you got 2 wrong, then you got an 80%. And by, you know, America's grading scale, what letter of the alphabet of a grade is that? Is that a B? Is that an A? Is that a D? Whatever. So we'll be creating that if we need to. Randomized questions. So this challenge means that we'll give the questions array more questions than we need to display. So I think what we'll do is each quiz will be it'll be a 3-question quiz. So we may give that quiz 10 questions total or 5 questions total. And the idea is that every time you reload the quiz, you get 3 random questions. So that's what randomized questions is. And then you have answers only, right? So answers only means, what does answers only mean? Oh, this is actually one that makes it easier for us. So what answers only means is that instead of us having to do anything with user input or input at all, the idea would be just that when the quiz runs, the questions get asked, the multiple choice options get laid out, but below that there's another console log that just says the answer to this question is whatever. So it's almost like instead of generating a quiz, you're generating an answer key. That's basically it. And then finally, the hardest thing on the list is front-end component. So right now, most of everything we do will always be, the end goal will be like just a console log, right? We're just going to be logging something to the console. However, if we unfortunately land on front-end component, then our job is to first solve the problem the normal way and then enhance it so that it is actually using React components and state and everything else React gives you for something like this. So this is a quiz, right? So you can imagine if we land on this front-end component, we need to now say when you click and answer, something in a UI changes. The answers should be kind of added to the very end result, right? So when I hit submit, like in real time on the front end, I should be able to see that submit. So let's hope we don't land on front-end component, because that's going to be really tricky. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle these up a few times, and let's go ahead and spin it. All right, let's see what we're going to have to deal with tonight. No! Yes! Oh, man, that is awesome. That is awesome. Okay, so we will be doing we get away with murder here. We get to do the really easy challenge of hard-coded input. So we don't need to worry about oh man, that's such a blessing right there. We don't need to worry about componentizing this, but we also don't need to worry about user input. I might still do user input just for fun because it's cool, but this is what this challenge wheel is for, right? Either making our lives easier or making our lives harder. So now what I want to do is I want to move over to our IDE, and we can get rid of, no, not that one. Actually, I do want that, but we can get rid of that. All right, let's get rid of that for now. We don't have a new chatter right now. All right, cool. So let's go to the IDE. I've already scaffolded us a little project space, and let's do like we did yesterday. Let's just scope out exactly what it is we're on the hook to build, right? So let's start doing that now. So the first thing we need is like a dump of an array of all our questions. So we'll do define array of all the questions. Okay, and then we'll say questions have, there's a question, there's the choices, right? Like the multiple choices, and then there's let's say the correct answer, the correct answer's index. So wherever the correct answer is in the choices array will be, this is what this value will be. Okay? So that's going to allow us to say, based on what if what the user chose matches whatever that index is, then they got it right. The next thing we need to do, I don't know if we need to do anything beyond just presenting the quiz. like once you get your, let's think about this. Once you get your array of questions, the next thing you would want to do is loop over the array of questions, ask each question individually, and get your users results. And we're going to be hard coding that anyway, so we don't need, yeah, so we'll just say present quiz to the user. In this case, it's literally just going to be in our console. We may do something on the browser too, just to play around with like user prompts and stuff. But the first thing we're going to do, let's set up a new constant. This is going to be our, let's call this a quiz questions. And you know what? We'll make this a real component. We'll just go ahead and push this to the front end. So this is going to be quiz questions. It's going to be an array of objects. Okay, so we'll say question. And then the question is going to be something like, what is the, which planet is known as the red planet, right? And then for the choices, so there we go. That was, look at that. That is good old tab 9 helping us out there. So that the answer is actually 3. Mars is known as the red planet. And then we'll make another one. So we'll do, yep. And then which is the largest, I don't know. What is it, Saturn, maybe? It might be Saturn. Oh, Jupiter. All right. Well, it's 0 then. And then let's say, let's get some questions real quick. Quiz questions, multiple choice. All right. I don't think this is going to work. I think we're going to have to come up with our own. How about this? What is the... I don't know. Let's do, what is the capital of France? Okay, and then we'll say, for our options, we'll say like, London. If we can catch some people off guard. Paris. Berlin, and Rome. Okay, and then of course the answer is Paris. All right, and then let's do another one. Let's do what year did dinosaurs go extinct? Yeah, so how many years ago? We'll say. How many years ago did dinosaurs go extinct? And the answer will be 24,600,000, 5 million, and then 66 million, and the correct answer there will be 3. And we need one more to round off to 5. All right. Which of the following is not a programming language? What? I love it. Okay. JS. All of these are, which is interesting. Let's actually do something that's not as obvious though, right? Like, instead of Java, let's say like Eclipse. Because that's actually the tool you use to compile Java. So, I think that could be an interesting little trick question. All right, cool beans. So I think now we have our 5 questions, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, yep, and 5. All right, so we have our questions. The next thing we need to do is let's just start working on our actual quiz presentation, right? So let's export this as well. So we'll export this, not props though. We'll just call this questions. All right, and then let's see. How do we want to do this? How do we want to do this? Wait, let me fix this. We're not on the hook for creating a front end component. We're actually on the hook for there we go. We're on the hook for hard-coded inputs. All right, so that actually simplifies things for us quite a bit. All right, hard-coded inputs is our challenge. All right, so let's think about this, right? So what we need to do is we need to be able to ask the questions, right? We need to be able to ask questions. So that needs to be in like a loop. And then we need to be able to say, based on the input that we get back, like, is the answer correct or not? So let me do one more thing. Let me make sure that we have a nice, so we got 3 there, we got 0 there, we got 1 there, 3, we got 3 there twice, and we got 0 twice. So we need one of these to be 2. So let's make this one 2. We're gonna put Python here. We're gonna put Eclipse here. I just want to make sure we have a variety of these options. All right, so let's think about this again, right? So we're gonna need to keep track of the score. That's one thing. Loop over all questions and ask them. And then finally, when quiz is finished, show the results, right? So we're gonna hard code this in our local to just see if we hard code a input. Let's say we hard code 0. We know that there's at least one 0 answer on here, right? It's not this one, it's the other one that was above this. So if we hard coded 0, we should see all of these other ones are wrong, but the one that was 0 is right. All right, so keep track of the score. This is easy. We're gonna let score equals 0. And then after that, loop over all the questions and ask them. So this is easy. This is gonna be a 4. Yep, question length. That is awesome. Tab 9 hooking us up again. And now we're gonna create a few variables here. I think we need to create a question variable because we're in the questions array. We need to create a choices variable that tells us all the, oh my God, this is so awesome. Tab 9 doing this right now. I'm not gonna use that. This is basically it. This is basically this is basically the answer. All right, so we're gonna use destructuring here though. We're gonna say question, and then we're gonna say choices, and then we're gonna say answer. Or let's say correct answer index. That's really what this is. What did I call these? Let's call these correct answer index as well so that they match. And then we're going to pull this from questions. Yeah. All right. And this could also be done with a map. I don't have to use this for loop, but I'm just using traditional JS right now. No real reason, to be honest. It's just how I'm doing it. So now let's make sure we log out our question. So we're going to do console.log, and we're going to say in template literals, question number, and this is going to be the index plus 1 because we don't want to start at the 0th index. That wouldn't really make sense. Question number 1, and then we'll ask the question. Okay, don't need the comma there. All right, so we'll ask the question, and now what we're gonna do, we need to actually list out the options. So we are gonna use we can use a map for this. Let's use for each for this so we can have the index. So we'll do choices.for each, and then we'll say here, let's make an arrow function. Oh no, that was exactly what I wanted. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. We'll do an arrow function here, and then we'll say, yes. Yes, that's exactly what I want too. All right, so we'll stop there for now. We won't actually do anything with this, but what we're gonna do, we are gonna run this real quick. Let's do present quiz, and then quiz questions. And let's see in our Oh, I haven't actually saved this file. Let's create ourselves a new file here. This is going to be the quiz questions dot JS. We don't need this to be a TS file. We can get rid of this now. All right, so now we have this. Let's see if this works, right? Let's see if we can one take Johnny this. No, we cannot. All right, so oh, I have to set this type in my package.json. This type is, oh, there it is, module. All right, and now if I run this, I think this might work. Yeah, it's down here though, so let's clear this. Run it now. Oh, I am inside of the function. I need to be outside of the function. So let's get rid of this for now. Let's make this a little bigger, and let's get rid of this sidebar so we can all see what's happening here. So if we look at this, I am in this function that's being exported, and I'm just going to try and run it right now, and I'm going to pass it our quiz questions, right? So here we have quiz questions, and I'm going to pass that to the present quiz. And right now, all we should get is the list of questions followed by the multiple choice options, right? So I'll go ahead and save that. It's hit. Okay, so that looks good, right? Which planet is known as the red planet? We have our choices there, and it does that for the second question, the third question, and the fourth and fifth question. So we're good. So the next thing we need to do, now that we're done spitting these questions out, and this is happening on each iteration, right? So for each iteration, we need to declare our static choice. Okay, so we'll call this, let's just make a constant, call it user choice, and we'll just make it equal to like a certain number. We'll say this is always 2. And then we'll be like, if the user choice is equal, absolutely equal to the correct answer index, right? Because we just set that up, then we want to say that, yep, we want to tell them that they got the answer correct, and we want to increase score by 1. That's important, right? We need to make sure we're keeping track of what their final score was, because we'll be telling them that at the end of the quiz, right? And then we need to say here, if else, okay, assuming that they got it wrong, we don't want to increase score at all. We just want to let them know, sorry, the correct answer was, and then what we'll do here is we'll say what the correct, oh wait, I'm not in my template literal state. All right, we'll say, and then this is correct answer index. Okay, the correct answer was, yep, correct. So then we'll say correct answer index was the answer. All right, and then let's put this in a template literal form as well. All right, so now we should at least be seeing correct or incorrect answers. Let's go ahead and rerun that. Let's clear the output, make this way bigger now, and let's go ahead and run it. So it says that for question 1, which planet is known as the red planet? We always go 2. Sorry, the correct answer was undefined. Ugh, that's not what I expected to see. So hang on, it looks like we don't have... Oh, okay, so I didn't add it everywhere. I only added it to 1. So there we go, a little bug in the code there. Let's get that cleaned up. All right, so now we can clear this out. Let's make this bigger again, and let's play it. And there we go. So, sorry, the correct answer was 3. It's probably going to be beneficial for us to see what the user thought the answer was as well. So we'll be like, sorry, you chose, and then we'll do user choice here, comma, but the correct answer was whatever. Correct. Blah, blah, blah was the right answer. So yeah, so this looks good. Let's go ahead and clear this out one more time. Let's run it again. And now we should see all the information. Sorry, you chose 2, but the correct answer was 3, which is Earth. Oh no, Mars. So we have another bug. The correct answer is actually 4. That's because the index needs to have a +1 on there. So it needs to be correct answer index +1. And the same for this, right? Correct answer index +1. All right, so now if we run this again, yep, so which planet is known as the red planet? The answer is 4. You chose 2, right? But the answer was 4. Which is the largest planet in the solar system? The answer is 1, but we chose 2. Question number 3. What is the capital of France? This time, the answer is 2. Whoops, another error. This needs to be +1 again because we need this to be human readable. So let's try that again. Yep, so now we got that correct, right? Correct 2 was the answer. Question 4, how many years did dinosaurs go extinct? 66 million is the right answer, so the answer is 4. And then question 2, which of the following is not a programming language? We chose 2, but the answer is actually Eclipse. So that's the first side of this challenge, right? That's just us making sure that the quiz works. So what if we wanted to move this to the front end, though? What if we wanted to not like display it, but at least allow the user to answer it via prompts, right? So like the user gets prompted, hey, what's your answer pick for this question? And then we actually get to answer that question, right? So what we're gonna do is, instead of defining user choice here, we're gonna say that this is a prompt, right? So, and we'll say that whatever this prompt is, we're gonna convert it to an integer. Okay, so that's really it right there. Parse int, and then we can say enter your choice, and then let's give them a little more information here. Let's say like 1 through 4, right? So tell me what your answer is 1 through 4. So now, in order to use this on our NextJS application, because remember we stood up a generic bare bones Next app, right? So in order to use this, we have to actually include this into our page.tsx. So we are going to get rid of all of this. We don't really need any of this. I'm going to leave this in here just because it's not really hurting anything. But now we need to import both of those variables. We need to import quiz questions and present quiz. So let's do them in alphabetical order. Present quiz, quiz questions from, and then whoops, from, and then I'm just going to do /. Oh, I am in the geez. All right, there we go. Quiz questions. All right. So now we're just going to run this. We're going to do exactly like we did before. Okay. And before we do this, though, there's one more thing that we need to do, which is to calculate the final score when the user's done, right? So at this part of the code here, when we come out of this for loop, basically they've done everything they can to get as many points as they want. So now we just need to log that they've completed the, yep, here we go, exactly this, right? You scored your score out of however many questions there were. Right? So it's really straightforward, right? When you think about it, it's really straightforward. So, okay. So now what we can do is let's just clear this out. Let's run this one more time. Oh, we have an error. Oh, yeah, that's right. So that's going to be wrong anyway. I think I did something wrong there. I think I did something wrong there. Let's go back to just making the answer 2, but let's see what I did wrong here. Parse int prompt. I'm not sure yet what I did wrong there. Prompt is not defined. Yeah, it is. It's a JavaScript method. That's like a generic JS method. I don't know why that was erroring out. Okay, so let's just go back to our hard-coded text for now. Get rid of this. Let's go ahead and play this out. And then when we come to the bottom, and this is exactly what we would expect, right? We only got one answer correct out of the 5 questions. So that's really what we wanted to see, what we expected to see. Hey, Constance, how's it going? Wait, we said we was gonna give a shout out to everybody that joined the stream. Hold on, let me give you your shout out. Let me give you your shout out real quick. Hold on. I'll give you a special shout out. I gotta get faster at this. Alright, let's... Alright, what up, Constance? Welcome to the junkyard. Welcome to the junkyard. Constance, let's get one more DJ horn. Let's go. Let's go. Welcome to the junkyard. All right, let's get that out of there. Okay, all right. Welcome to the junkyard. If you were a developer, I would be asking you what your favorite programming language is, but I know you're just here to hang out. Okay, so now that we know this is working, let's actually put this back in place, and we're going to try and use this on the front end now. Hopefully it works. I don't know if we'll get this error, but this should be all we need to do right here. So in our page.tsx, we import the present quiz and quiz questions from the quiz questions class. Normally you would move these quiz questions into page.tsx. We're not going to go through that right now. This isn't a real React tutorial. So, and I always get rid of these semicolons. I don't know why tab 9 insists on adding them. It's probably something I need to configure, but I'll figure that out at some point. So now we can go to the front end and actually review these results. So I'm going to go open my terminal. And now I'm going to do pnpm dev, which is going to start our app. And then we're going to go ahead and open this in the browser. So where is our browser? Where is our browser? All right, let's go ahead and all right, I know what is happening. There's an error right now on the front end. Let me just fix that real quick. So wait, I should probably show you guys what the error is and how to fix it. All right, so the error is basically saying, hey, there's an error in the next font import. And really what it is we updated that type module in our, I don't know if that's how to fix this, to be honest. Type common JS. I don't know the right way to solve this. I know a way to solve this, but I don't know let's find out what the right way to solve this is. So I've never seen this, to be honest. Like, I've seen this error a bunch of times. So it's still happening. I'm just gonna get rid of the type altogether. This is weird. So the last time I ran into this, I remember someone told me to fix it here. I wonder if it needs to be fixed in here somewhere. And of course, I don't have any of my React friends on the call right now. Let me find out how to fix this. All right. Yeah, this is exactly what we are dealing with. Update your dependencies. What? It says we need to update our dependencies, but I don't buy it. I don't buy it, okay? All right, I'm going to try that, though. I'm going to go back to the IDE and just update our dependencies and see what happens. Are we in the... Yeah, okay. So if I just do a pnpm update. Yeah, it's already up to date, so it's not that. This is weird. I'm gonna change this to a .ts file. I mean, that shouldn't have anything to do with it, but I know this is an easy issue. Someone helped me fix this before. I can't remember what exactly it was, but it like came down to the version I was using. Like the ES version I was installing was weird or something. It was something basic like that, something really simple. All right, so we did get out of that error. Now we're back to this prompt error. Prompt is not defined, so it's not prompt. Uh, um, it's totally prompt. Maybe I don't need to parse it as an integer. Hang on. I think I can turn that back to JS now. I don't think, all right, let's go back to the browser. Oh, well, you guys didn't see what I was just doing. What? I'm having a hard time at this. How's prompt not defined? That's like such a basic... That's like one of the most basic JavaScript methods in the world. I wonder if it has... No, that doesn't make sense. Let me see something real quick. So let's go back to the browser. I'm gonna see if it has something to do with, let me just do prompt. Hello. Yeah, that's exactly what I would expect. Let me just Google it. Cause this is really weird. What? I shouldn't need to do this. But yeah, we saw that. All right, let's just go ahead and do this. Let's npm install prompt sync. Maybe that's legit. Like, maybe that's like really some required add-on package that you need. I don't know. So, npm install prompt sync. Which is, that would be new to me. Like, seriously, I've never seen that before in my life. Like, if this works, I'll be shocked. Oh, wait, I shut down the server, didn't I? So, npm dev. Alright, let's open that back up. Yeah, it still doesn't like it. That's so odd to me. Let's just do this. Let's see if on our page.tsx, if we're at least able to do a prompt. Hey, now. So, yeah, now it's saying that this one doesn't work. What is happening? All right, let's try. No, we already did that. able to get a prompt? This is like the easiest thing in the world. It might have something to do with yeah, maybe it has something to do with this. Let me go ahead and get rid of this TSX. All right, so yeah, no, it just doesn't like it. That's so odd to me. Like, I have no idea why that's not working. So it definitely has something to do with Node.js. Yeah, they have some things that all right, let me try this. One more thing that I can give a shot to. If that doesn't work, then we'll abandon ship. So do I need to import prompt? Hang on, what was that from? Oh yeah, I think maybe I just need to import this. That's such a weird... Alright, well, we'll move on to the next challenge. I do want to get some more of these done. That prompt thing is going to drive me nuts, though. That's such an easy... like a basic error, that I'm pretty sure... This didn't work for me, though. Above all codes. Whatever that means. Alright, I don't feel like doing some crazy workaround. Alright, so we're going to sign off on this first quiz, though. I mean, we obviously see it works. Just couldn't do the front end part of it, which wasn't on the challenge list anyway. Our challenge was to use hard-coded inputs. So let's actually change our user choice input to a different one. We'll say the input is 1. Let's get rid of that. And let's go ahead and run this. What did we do? Oh yeah, okay. Need to now go update JSON package.json again. Type. Okay, and let's go back to, where are you? Here you are. Go here, let's run that, and then now we can see we scored 1 out of 5, but what's the one that was correct? 1 was the answer. Which is the largest planet? Yep, it was Jupiter. So let's say our thing is 3 now. Go ahead and run this. So, you chose 3, but it was 4. You chose 3, but it was 1, 2. All right, this last one, right? Eclipse is the right answer. So we know it's working. All right, so we will say that is a challenge complete. All right, we did it. We did it. So, all right, that's good. So now let's move on to the next challenge here under our belts. Ugh, that was so weird, man. I hated everything about that challenge. No, I love the challenge. I can't lie, but that prompt thing threw me off at the end. Okay, so it's time to move on to challenge number 3. So let's set the stage here. Let's go back to the browser. There's this guy. And we'll come to quiz number 3, restaurant bill calculator. So this should be a lot of fun. So basically what this is asking us to do is I should be able to say that a meal costs a certain amount of money, right? So let's say someone has a meal, they have 5 or 6 people eating. I need to get the total of that, and then I want to give that customer a discount, okay? And then I want to calculate the new total bill based on the amount of food that was eaten and the total discount, right? So we have some challenges here to make this a little more difficult. Let's feed that into our wheel of misfortune and see what we're gonna have to deal with this time around. So I'm gonna get rid of that. Let's shuffle these up a few times. All right, and then let's go through them, right? So the first one here is a randomizer. So if we land on random %, this means that we would be on the hook for writing some logic that will take the, that will return, sorry, not take anything, but it will return a random discount percentage for every meal that we try and calculate. So every time we try and calculate a meal's total cost with the discount, it'll be like, what if the discount was some random number? And it'll be anywhere between 0 and 100%. The next one is front-end component. You guys know what that means. We have to create a like React web app styled application that allows us to click, use form elements to provide the dishes, like all the different dishes, and the discount, and then we'd hit something like calculate total, and this should do all of the math for us and return to us on the screen a total. That's what the front end components would be. Hard coded input is the easiest. It just means that we can go in and hard code our discount value. So instead of having to make anything dynamic, we can just hard code that in. User input means that we are going to do that on the front end. Since we can't use prompt, however, I'm not entirely sure how I want to do that anymore. Since we're not able to use prompt, that's going to be a little weird. Wait, let me see one thing. One more thing. Hang on, guys. Let me just check one thing. Because now I wonder if I can just get around this by doing something like target is like ES 2020, right? Because now I'm specifically telling my package what ES version to target. Like maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. I'm gonna give this a shot real quick. Maybe in these new versions. Who knows? Maybe in these new versions they actually accept the prompt. Because that would make the next thing we're gonna do a little cooler. Oh, that type thing is still in there, isn't it? Oh, now that we've done that, we have to rebuild. All right, and then yeah, just got rid of those dependencies. All right, let's rerun it. See if this works this time. It probably won't. I'm okay with that if it doesn't. Yeah, prompt is still not defined. That's okay. My friend always sending me this delicious looking food. They made salmon today, which looks amazing. Yeah, so prompt is still not defined. So yeah, there's just something off with my local environment, I guess. I don't know. All right, so anyway, and that's the user input challenge. And then the last one here is to calculate the money saved. So like at the end of this, right, we're gonna know what the total is, but what we don't know is like what would the total have been at first, and now that you're getting this discount, how much money did you actually save, right? So we'll be like, your total is $100. You just saved $20, right? And then we could be like, your total would have been X dollars, but now you saved this amount of money. So those are all the different things. We got randomize the percentage count, build a whole front end component, hard code the input, allow the user to input things themselves, which I guess we got to skip that. Can't do that without prompts. Well, yes, we can. We can make a form field for that. That's okay. So let's go ahead and shovel this up one more time, and then let's spin it. All right, here we go. No front end component. No front end component. All right, looks like we are good there. So we're going to have to calculate the money saved. That is not a bad deal. I am totally fine with that one. That is very, 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 very awesome. So calc dollars saved. I am totally fine with that. All right, and then this is challenge number 3, which is the bill. This is the bill. Let's call this the calculate bill. Okay, we go, that looks fine. Does not actually. Let's put it all on one line. All right, there we go. Much better. Make sure it looks good on both. Oh. All right. Cool. All right, calculate bill and then calculate the percentage saved. All right, it looks like we are good to get started. Go ahead and close that out. So how do we want to write this? Okay, this is going to be an interesting little piece of code. I think we can do this in a very, very like I think we can do this in a very optimal way, to the point where we don't have a bunch of code on the page, right? Because really, when you think about it, we need to, like, let's think about this. The first thing we would do is we would need to have a function that gives us the total, like the total price of a meal based on all the different items that were purchased. Yeah, let's actually start scoping this out. Let's start scoping this out. So we'll head over to the IDE. Okay. And then here we can get rid of this stuff. We don't need it. All right. And then this, we can do all of this in the console. There's nothing telling us that we have to do this in so we'll use this quiz questions. No, we won't. We'll save that because we're going to end up committing these anyway to code. So this is going to, whoops, this is actually going to be down here. We'll call this, instead of quiz questions, it'll be bill. No, it's just calculate bill. Calculate bill.js. And then we're saying the first thing we're going to do is we're going to define the array of item prices. Okay, so once we have our array of item prices, the next thing we're going to want to do is create a method to calculate the total price, right? We're going to need create a method that takes a discount price, a discount amount, so a discount percentage. So it'll just be a real number. So a discount percentage in whole number value. So it'll be like 30, 40, 50 or whatever. So it's between 0 and 100. So has to be between 0 and 100. Create a method that takes a discount percentage and total value and returns a new total. Okay. I keep doing accent. Okay. Let's actually break this up into 2 lines. All right. And then after that, the last thing we would need is because what are we on the hook? Okay, let's do one that's calculate the new bill price and then calculate the savings amount, right? The value saved, right? So that's going to be some methods that we need to build. So let's do this first. Let's actually just do a const item prices. And this is just going to be an array of random numbers, right? We'll say one plate costs $25, one costs $13. Someone bought a bottle of wine for $119. Someone bought like a steak for $47.99. Someone bought something for $81, and then let's say someone bought something for $23, right? It's just random, a bunch of random prices. So now we need a method to calculate the total price, right? So we're going to do const calculate total price is equal to an anonymous function that says give me the items. So give me the give me all your prices, and in return, I'll give you back, and we can do this all on one line, I bet, right? Because this is going to be not a for each, but a reduce, right? We're going to be able to say prices dot, let's just log this for now. Let's do console.log, and let's say prices dot reduce. Actually, let me do this the other way around. Let's do prices dot reduce, right? And then it's going to be so the reducer, how does that work, right? The reducer takes the function and then a starting point. So since we're doing math, since we're doing addition, we need to start at 0. I think, yeah. We need to start at 0, and then we can say we want a accumulator and a price. Right, each individual price. All right, so there's that. That should be taken care of. There we go. Okay. And then this is gonna be. No, we don't even need to do that, right? We can just say the accumulator plus the price every time. This is our grand total. So we can just do a return here of whatever this value returns. So let's do a console.log of calculate total price, and let's pass it the item prices. All right, so that should work. Let's see if we can take this. No, yep, 308.99. So let's actually do this math ourselves. I'm going to pull up my trusty calculator here. You guys can't see it, but I do have it up. 25 plus 13 plus 119 plus 47.99 plus 81 plus 23 equals 308.99. Perfect. All right, so our algorithm's working great for the calculation of the total price. The next one that we have to do is we have to create a message that takes a discount percentage and gives us a total value back, right? So we probably should. I love tab 9. I swear to God, I love tab 9. Like I love this thing, so this tool so much. This is exactly the formula I think. No, it's not it exactly, right? Because it's saying discount minus 100. It needs to be -1, but everything else is right, I think. Right? So it's gonna say, give me whatever your grand total was, and then multiply it by this percentage, right? By this percentage. So this, hang on, this is a little off. It needs to be, the first thing that needs to happen is this though. So I think they're giving us a different way to write the algorithm is what they were doing. But I would do it like this. This is how I learned to do this algorithm in school, right? You take the first thing that should happen is this. So let's say we giving them a 30% discount. 30 over 100 would be 0.30 minus 1 would be 0.70 times your total is how much now your new total is, right? So let's actually run this too. So we're gonna say const apply discount to something easy, something that we know, not const but console.log. We're gonna say apply discount. So we're gonna say that the discount is 10% and the total is 100. So we should get 90 back here. Go ahead and run that, and we get 90. If we bump this up to 50, now let's do something odd like 22%. Right, we get 78. That's easy math. So we know this apply discount is working as expected. So now that we have these two helper methods complete, we can actually start writing our calculate bill method and our calculate the savings amount method, right? So let's do this. Let's do const calculate bill price, right? And that's going to be a anonymous function that just and then yeah, we have item prices up here, but let's actually bring those down here, because this is in the end of our program is going to give, I'm going to be like, here's a bunch of random item prices, here's a random discount, now you tell me based on those two pieces of information what my total bill amount is and what my savings was. So for the bill price, what we need to do is we need to say the bill price is equal to so this would have two parameters in it, right? It would have a total. No, not a total, but it'll have a what would I need for calculate bill price? I don't think I even need it. Oh, yes I do. I need your item prices. So I just need prices, and which is an array, and then I also need your discount. Okay? So the way this is going to work is we can simply return the apply discount to the calculate total price and calculate discount first, right? So we'll say 20% of, and then calculate total price of prices. And I think that's it. So now we should be able to give it any items, right? So we should be able to say with any prices and any discount, now we should get back the exact, actually this should be discount. Okay, we should get back the exact data that we're looking for. Oh, this is so fun. Okay, so here we'll do console.log calculate bill price, and then here I'll say at a 20% discount and item prices is my array of items. Okay, so now I'll clear this out. We'll run this, and we have an error here. Prices.reduce is not a function. Calculate total prices. Well, why not? Why is calculate.reduce not, I mean, why is prices.reduce not a function? Oh, you know what we have to do? This isn't an array, I think, till we do that. We have to spread it in, because I need each of these to be individual parameters. I think it'll work fine here, right? It'll work fine here, but as far as this one's concerned, in order to do this, I need this to be item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4, item 5. right? I think so. I think I'm right about that. We'll see. All right, so let's run this now. So it's giving me not a number. So calculate bill price. Apply discount of that and a total. Yeah. Wait, do they expect me to do this too? I don't know if that is required. Yeah, no, it shouldn't be. Alright, let's just do... No, we know total price worked. Yeah, wait a second. Why didn't that work? Wait, hang on. Didn't I do total... Yeah, I did do total prices. Wait a second. The only reason prices.reduce wouldn't work is if... What? As if it wasn't a, So... Oh, I think I have to pass all of these in like this. Hang on, I think I have to pass all of these in like references. So that means even this. Oh, rest must be your last element. Okay, didn't know that. All right. Oh yeah, duh. Rest has to be the last element. I had that backward anyway. That's probably why that was correct. So yeah, now this just needs to spread. Yep, there we go. And then we need to turn that into a dollar amount. Wait, I don't know if this is necessary. Yeah, that's not necessary. This one is, though. I think this one is. Let me just make sure. Because I did have the parameters backward there, so... Maybe that was the only problem. Yeah, that was the only problem. My parameters were just backward. I had discount and then prices. I mean, I had prices, then discount, and it should have been the other way around. So that's good now. But the only problem now is that I don't have the absolute dollar amount here. This is giving me some mumbo jumbo that I don't care about. Yeah, how are we so off with that? Is it because of this? Yeah, so that squares it out. But then let's actually let's go to the browser and find out how to get like dollar amounts. There has to be a way to get like true dollar amounts. Use international number format. Okay, so let's see which one is the Oh, this takes a lot of different parameters. Gross. I hate it. I hate everything about that. There's no easy way to do this. I mean, not that that's hard, per se, but... that's so ugly. Alright, let's use it. We're gonna use it even though we hate everything about it. I hate everything about that! That was so hideous. But you know, we got to do what we got to do. Okay. So let's do this. Let's go here, and I think this can just be a global. And then now we just need the implementation, which is that format price. So where we're getting price at is here, right? So it's really like const total price equals to this, and then what we want to do is say like return this guy US dollar format, which is a available variable here, and then instead of passing in price, we pass in total price. That way we should get, yep. So now if we change this back to, I think it was 20 before, giving us grief, yep, 247.19. So we have officially finished it. Our challenge was to calculate the, oh no, we didn't officially finish it yet. We now have the total bill price, okay? So we'll say const discount is equal to 20, okay? How do you turn that off? That's gonna drive me nuts. Tab 9. So maybe it's not tab 9, maybe it's prettier. And then semicolon? There we go, yeah. Alright, cool. Yay! Okay, cool. So we're not gonna add those to the end of every line anymore. Hopefully that works as advertised. So let's get out of settings. So what I'm gonna do now is save. Yeah, it looks like that worked. Yeah, and we don't have any of those anymore. Okay, cool. So now that we have the new bill price, we need to be able to calculate the savings amount. So we're going to say const savings amount is equal to, now how do you calculate the savings amount? Well, first you need the original total, and then you need the total post discount total. Post discount total. And then now, this is really easy, right? Now, what you'd return is your, so now your savings is gonna be original total minus, get rid of this for now, minus the post discount total. And that should do it. That should do it. So if we console log, so here, let's actually get these values, right? So we need our original value, which we'll do const original total price is equal to, not to calculate bill price, but calculate total price. So calculate total price, and we should just be able to pass it item prices. Okay. And then now that we have that, we should be able to say, calculate bill price is really what this is. Calculate bill price of our discount, and our, oh, we just did item prices here. All right, so now if I do a console.log of original total price post discount price, let's just do that. We can get rid of this now. That console log, we don't need it. Go ahead and log this out. And discount is not defined. I may have spelled it wrong. Yep, spelled it wrong there though. Discount. All right, there we go. Okay, so our original is 308.99 and the new value is there. So let's actually convert this to money as well. So we'll say dollar sign, I mean not dollar sign, but const total price is equal to US dollar dot format. And then it'll be, no, we won't do that. We won't do that. Let's actually put this below. I just want this to read a little prettier. So then we'll return this total price. Okay, so now if we rerun this script, we now have that in dollar sign format. So what do we want to say? What do we want to say? We want to be like, so the original total price before the percent discount was, and then this can be original total price, period. However, after applying the discount of 20%, the total price came down to, and then here we can say post discount total price. All right, and then here we just need to supply the actual discount variable. Get these. All right, and then however, after applying the discount of that, total, yep, have a nice day. All right, so now if we were to run this now, the original total price before the 20% discount was $308.99. However, after applying, okay, so we still have something that's not right. Calculate bill price here. Discount and item prices. Calculate total price. Oh, this is... Okay, I know what we need to do. I know what we need to do. We need to go back to this. Hang on. So we need to go back to this. We can actually get that too. We need to go back to this, and then what we need to do is just where we want to display that as a real number is where we need to, so it's here. I don't know if you can do math against. I guess we're about to find out, but so the original price is this, right? Yeah, so now this should at least get rid of the not a number error, which it did. But now let's see. This means you have a total of, and it's going to be original total price minus the post discount total price. You have this means you have a total. You have saved a total of whatever dollars. All right, and then maybe we'll convert that as well. Let's just make sure this works. Spit that out. Nope, not a number of dollars, right? So we can't do that. So once again, I think what's happening is that we're using the $ formatter before we need to. So we shouldn't be using it here. We should actually just use the $ formatter like outside where we're starting to use strings. Everything else should just be numbers. So we'll get rid of that, and then here we'll, instead of putting this here even, what we'll do is we'll keep this, and then we'll just move, so here, let's just make sure we don't have any more dollar signs here. Yeah, so like now everything is just like in a really weird format. So what we'll do though is we'll say, we know that we want the overall value of these two, right? We want those to be formatted, so I'm gonna go ahead and tuck those into a dollar amount. We know we want this to be formatted, right? So I'm gonna tuck that in a format. All right, and then last but not least, I'll do this as well. So US dollar.format. There we go. So now that should show what we'd expect. Go ahead and do that. Okay, the original total price before the 20% discount was $308.99. However, after applying the discount of 20% to the after applying the discount of 20%, the total price came down to $247.19. This means you have saved a total of $61.80. Have a nice day. We did it! All right, so that wasn't so bad. That wasn't so bad at all. All right, so calculate bill. Another one bites the dust. Great job, everyone. All right. So we calculated the money we saved. We did everything we set out to do, right? So that was good. All right, so let's see what the very last challenge on the list is. Let's head back to the browser. All right, so let's see what the last challenge is real quick. So we'll head back to the browser. All right, last challenge is a weather forecast app. Okay, this is going to be interesting. So we have a challenge here that requires that we make a request out to a API endpoint and using promises, be able to do something once that request is returned back successfully. So for us, we're just going to spit out like some API data. We're going to be using the Open Weather API app. Open Weather Map API to pull this off. And we're going to be using promises in old school ES6 JavaScript. Ugh, makes me shudder. All right, so like last time, I have here a set of challenges for this challenge, and we need to put it in a randomizer and see which one it lands on. For this, we only have 3 things that we could choose from. Okay, so we'll go ahead and talk about these randomized cities. So one of the things that are required, one of the things that's required by the Weather API is a city. So I thought it would be unique. I thought it'd be neat if one of the potential ways to make this more difficult is you have to give me an array of cities, and then it'll get shuffled up and randomly be chosen to appear in your API request. So every time you refresh your request, sometimes you'll get Chicago, sometimes you'll get Dallas, sometimes you might get New York City, sometimes you might get, I don't know, Austin, who knows, right? It's just going to always be random. And then the front end component is the same as always. We're going to move this to a actual React component. Hopefully we don't get that. And last but not least, it's making it a little easier for me with some hard-coded input. So instead of having to do any kind of randomization or dynamic anything, we can just hard-code the input ourselves. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle this up a few times. And let's spin it. All right. Oh no. Yay! Randomizer. All right. I'd much rather that than front end component, okay? Front end component is just going to take so long because I'm not a wizard in React yet. So I'll have to actually like think about how I'm going to do state and all that. Whereas randomized city, we know how to write a shuffle app. We did one literally just yesterday. So that's going to be a little easier to deal with. Okay. So let's head back over to the code. We know the drill. Let's go ahead and scope this out. And yeah, let's start writing this. So the first thing I want to do is in my IDE, I do want to update all of our challenge details. So this is now challenge number 4. The challenge description is weather app, and our wheel of craziness is, our wheel of misfortune rather, is going to be random cities. Okay. Now let's center that better. All right. And then let's just make sure the browser has the same stuff. Weather app, random cities, challenge number 4. Yep, everything looks good there. So let's head back to the code. We'll go ahead and create a new JS file for this. We'll call it the weather app.js. And then we just need to start thinking about how to write it. So let's think about this. So we know the first thing we're going to need to do, since we have to shuffle these up, is define an array of cities. Okay, and then we're going to need to create a method to shuffle the cities. Yep. Okay, and then now let's talk about actually fetching this data. Okay, how are we going to fetch this data? So I think we can do all of this in one method. Because really what you would be doing, right, is like you're going to be saying you have an API key that you got from OpenAPI, right? Open Weather API. You have a request URL that that needs to include that API key, but that's static. That API key is static, so you don't need to ever worry about that again. But the city can rotate. So the city needs to be like a legitimate parameter. And then really what it's saying is like, okay, first do a fetch call to go get the API URL. Then when the response comes back, do a response.json on that. Then when that data comes back, resolve it. And then if at any point anything goes wrong, reject it. Right? Because the whole thing's a promise. Yep, so we're going to say create method to fetch weather data. All right, and then create method to display weather data. And then finally, we're just going to need to call fetch method, like use fetch method to get data, then display it using display. Right. All right, so that should be easy. So first let's do a cities array. Wow, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Tab. All right, so we have our cities. Okay, this is what we're going to use to choose like various cities. And then we also want to shuffle, right? We want to do a const shuffle equals. And then let's see if they give us this. Yes, they gave it to us. All right, so that's what I love that. So let's just make sure this works. So we'll do a shuffle cities. And that's the only reason they gave this to us is because it's a really common, shuffle is a really common pattern. So that's why they give this to you, like they give this to you out of the box. If you go look online for this, and I love how that just got rid of all of my semicolons when I saved it. That's pretty dope. But if you go look online for this algorithm, like here, check this out. Let's go to the browser. Let me just show you guys what I was saying on the call yesterday. So if we go to the browser, we're like shuffle array JavaScript, right? It's literally the first thing that pops up. Here it is, the Fisher Yates. Here it is. It's this, right? Yeah, math floor, math random, and then basically a while loop right after it. Yep. So you can see here, this is the exact method that we use. And it's really simple, but it's so common that like everyone uses it. Some people use while loops, some people use for loops based on the length of the array. It doesn't matter. You're basically just going to keep going until you don't have any other slots in the array. That's really the nuts and bolts of it. It is a really powerful tool, though, a really powerful technique. All right, so let's just make sure that worked. Let's go ahead and run that. We can see here, we know this is not in the same order, but let's just run it again. Because ours was alpha sorted, so yeah, we can just see that that's in a random order. All right, so we have the first two hardest parts of this project done. Let's do the number one hardest part, which is fetching the actual weather data. So we'll do const, pretty much, right? We're not gonna use async, but this is really close. Fetch weather data equal to, and then the only dynamic piece that we need is the city, right? So then we'll say, I'm actually gonna get the, I'm gonna have to get the API key from somewhere else. Oh, you guys can't even see what I'm doing. So trying to figure out how I want to store this API key so I don't have to expose it to the audience. Let's see. Because really what we'd be saying is like, let's do const API key is equal to, and then it would be something that I import. It'd be like, it's equal to API key. So I wouldn't even do this here, right? I would just here, I would just be like import API key from, and then this would be some kind of path, right? It'd be some kind of like, yeah, it'd be like module API, like something like that, right? Trying to think if I even care about exposing this. Yeah, I don't care. I'm just gonna, I kind of do care. Yeah, I'm gonna hide the screen. I'll take you back to the, actually I'll take you to the rules page while I do this. All right, so let me just, I'm just gonna save this in like a util.js. All right, and then I'm gonna say export const API key equals, and then I'm literally just gonna pass the actual API key here. So now I can import this, import API key from, and then I can do like slash, or dot slash, and then where's my util? Oh, dot slash then? No, just dot slash. Oh wait, I'm in util. Wait, no, I'm not. What's happening? Oh. Yeah, that's all. All right, let me just make sure this works. That should do it. All right, that was tough. Clear that output, and let's get you guys back. Bring you guys back in. All right, let's close that just in case. Okay, so we now have what we need from there. Bring back to the IDE. All right, cool. So now we have a API key that we can work with. So we can actually say const API URL now, right? It's going to be equal to, and then let me copy this API URL. Okay, here we go. Equal to that. So we have our API key and our city. So then now, the next thing you want to do is you're basically ready to return your new promise, right? And yep, resolve or reject it. And yep, that's it. So now what we want to do is we want to say like, damn, they're so good at this. This is exactly what we want to do. We want to say first hit this URL. When you get that back, I want you to then give me the JSON version of it. This is also going to return a promise. So then you can chain then here, right? Because this returns a promise to you. You can chain then here, and then you can do something with this data, which basically is to say resolve it now. Be done with it. Now, if anything happens, reject it and throw the error. Okay? So this should work already. Like no cap. This should like already be working for us. So let's create our displayer, but first let's test this. I want to test this real quick. So first let's say fetch weather data. And we said the only thing we're on the hook for is the city, so I'm just going to pass Chicago. And then what we want to do is like .then, right? Because that it should return a promise. And then no, this is going to be .then, and then we're going to put a little method in here, but it's going to be like weather data, right? Because that's what we expect to get back in the end, right? Some weather data. So here, all I want to do is I want to console.log weather data. I just want to make sure it's working. Okay, and then we can obviously do our catch here. That's the next thing we have to do is like if something did go wrong, right? That this is all, right? Well, no, not that. It's actually going to be if something did go wrong, we want to just console log the error. Actually, we could just do console error, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this works. And then we could just say error was, yeah, error. Right? So let's just see if this works. And it did. We have API data. All right, so we're almost done. So we have to do this the right way, right? We said that every single time you request, it has to go fetch a random city. So the first thing I want to do is like, let's figure out a cool way to display this data, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to be like console.log template literal starter, right? And we're going to say the weather details for so first what we're going to do is be like shuffle city. So we're going to be like const random city is equal to shuffle and then cities, right? And then we're going to say that actually what we're going to do is be like pass cities here. Cities. No, we don't need to pass anything to it, but we do need to return something here. And then return shuffle cities and just give me a random index. So I want to be like, yeah, like random. That was random number. Math.random. And I think it's like 0, 10. Is this how you do? All right, let's say return a random item from array. Let's see what the easiest way to do this. Yep, there it is, right there. So something like that. All right, so this is going to give us a random item. So after the cities get shuffled, we're going to always, actually, what am I doing? When if the cities, I could just say give me always the first number because we're shuffling these. So I don't care if you only give me the first one. Let's do random city here. This is, I'm pretty sure this is going to work. And what I'll do here is I won't keep doing this guy. Okay? So that's this, but I'm just gonna make sure that we're getting a random city every time. Clear output. So this doesn't need to be a method. This could be this, right? Random city is that now. The weather details for Louisville, Philadelphia, San Antonio. Yep. All right, cool. So we know that's working. And so then let's just say here, let's say are as follows. And then we'll say something like the, actually, let's dump out that payload again and see what exactly we even have to work with. Like what data we have to work with. So we have the conditions, like cloud, overcast clouds. Excuse me. We have the degrees. I highly doubt it's 88 degrees in Chicago right now. That is very unlikely. It's usually freezing in Chicago, so that's why I say it's unlikely. Let's see. Let's do a different one. Let's just use our random city thing. All right, who is this? Detroit. Degrees, what? 130? That's not possible. Come on. Oh no. You think you're kidding? Degrees 353. This must be in Celsius. Alright, yeah, this is Denver. Alright, I'm not gonna worry about it. I'll say the weather details for random city are as follows. We'll say the, I don't know, temperature, and then we'll just do weather. Actually, we can't do this here. We need to do this down here, don't we? Like after we get our data back. So let's. Okay. There we go. That's how we'll do that. Okay, so get rid of this now. And now this is going to be using weather data. Weather data dot okay, weather data dot main dot temp dot main dot temp. Okay, and then we need that degree symbol. Oh, I think I found it. Alright, so there's the temperature. And then let's do weather. Which I'm gonna use dot description here. I'm gonna do dot description. So it's gonna be weather data, whoops. Weather data dot weather data 0th index dot description. Is it just dot description? All right, I think we're good. I think that's it. I think that's enough. So our displayer is really just a bunch of console logs, so we don't even need a displayer. So yeah, we'll just say log weather info, I guess. And then here is get a random city from the array of cities. All right, so now if we clear this output, we shouldn't be getting every piece of weather data back. We should just get our little chunk. Cannot read properties of description. Oh, weather. I think it was weather.description. All right. Oh, wait. It's I have the 0th index in the wrong place. Okay. All right, San Diego. So this is San Diego. We have 290 Celsius, few clouds, overcast clouds in Chicago. That's so cool. Houston, we got thunderstorms. Portland, we got overcast clouds. Chi-Town is popular on the list. New York, clear sky, jealous. Cloudy in Jacksonville. So it's working. Another challenge defeated by us. All right, that was a lot of fun. That was so much fun. Okay, thank you to everybody that joined. I had a blast. Yeah, I think we'll wrap it there. We successfully completed all 3 challenges, and we used the Wheel of Misfortune to make our jobs a little harder. We didn't have to do any front-end development, thank the Lord, but we did have to do some really interesting things that made these challenges a lot cooler to deal with. Of course, there will be videos, there'll be most likely YouTube shorts coming, solving these challenges, probably not using the Wheel of Misfortune, but just solving the basic challenge that's on the GitHub repository. If you're interested in that, make sure you click on the link in the description, or just follow the link in any other videos on the channel. That's gonna do it, guys. Make sure you hit that like, follow, subscribe button on all the different places. We're on Twitch, we're on YouTube. Make sure you follow all of those for more awesome coding goodies. All right, thank you guys, and peace out, everyone.